Meanwhile, in Kentucky, dun dun dun, the 64 VW Beetle I bought has been sitting here on this trailer for about 5 weeks. I haven't been able to get out here to do anything, and it's just been raining and carrying on, and I've been covered up in work. I haven't been racing or doing anything, just work. But I managed to get out here, been collecting some parts, and to get it off of here by myself alone, I'm going to have to get some brakes on it. And so I ordered this master cylinder. I think it was off of O'Reilly's, and the picture, they didn't give the dates applicable, or the application for, you know, 50, 60, whatever car. And it had the picture was of a dual reservoir master cylinder, but that's what I got, was a single, the original. And this is the actual kind of master cylinder that would have came on this car. And that is an actual VW 1965-ish reservoir. Came off of the Kraut when I was restoring it myself. Threw it in a box and kept it out there. I had bought a brand new one, but the little nozzle at the bottom down here was too short and too small to accommodate this blue hose, which is what most late model. And the nozzle on the master cylinder is the same size as the late model. So believe it or not, the old 65 one here, it had the nozzle is made in a way that you can use either or, the small hose or the large hose. So I don't know why the reproduction one was so messed up, but anyway, I just have got it. We bled and primed the master cylinder last night in the vise, and I just got through fighting on the lines. The lines are just on there any old way just for now. I've just got to get this thing off of here. And what they did, whoever started on this car, they put an old body on a new pan. So it is a ball joint, independent rear suspension, ball joint front end, and which is supposed to be, you know, I guess they thought it was better at the time. But when you go to modify these things, you get a lot of bump steer and stuff. So the link pins, in my opinion, are the better. See how much room you got in there. All this stuff was missing. It is literally just sitting the way it was. It did have a dual reservoir master cylinder on it. Told me they had put this on there. Okay, so this nozzle was missing, and you can't probably see that in there, but it's rusty as it is on the outside. So hence a new one. And I've been leaking a bit too already. I don't know that it ever had any brakes on it. It does have disc brakes on the front. Whether I keep those for later use or sell them for make some money back on this thing, I don't know. But can't see in there probably too good, but I gotta put the had to buy a plunger. There's a little plunger rod that goes from the pedal into the master cylinder. That was not in the parts box, and a lot of parts are missing. But for what I'm doing, it's okay. I'm not restoring the car. This is going to be, I guess this is the first video of hopefully the return to 1967 VW gasser style. And we're gonna try and do it up, not to look like, but to actually use the same type of things that they did as best as I can. even including small. So this car though, what sold it to me was it's got brand new floor pans in it, somebody put in. It has brand new heater channels. They had, it's all rusty and everything, but they had replaced the lower quarters in the front and the back. They'd put a new rear and front aprons back here, including part of this on the other side. Somebody kind of goobered this up, but again, that doesn't matter because it's getting hatchet. And you can see, don't know if you can see or not, but that's the IRS. And so we're going to convert all that. I wish I had a light. Wait a minute. Alright, this light's not very good. But you have trailing arms that come over to the spring plate with the CV joint, and everybody's probably real familiar with this. This is not the way the sauerkraut is. It's the early models that had swing axle. It's a solid axle comes out, and that's how you can get all this bad camber. Anyway, I just thought I'd get the it's really rusty. We're going to sandblast and wire brush and a bunch of stuff. They had done back to that, they had done quite a bit of repairs on it. None of this stuff was solidly welded. They had just sort of spotted it here and there to hold it in place. So all I got to do is kind of go back in, get this rust off, seal it up, finish it up. I messed with the doors to get them to open and close. They were a little bit off, but they, believe it or not, you know, it's old. They're 64 doors, and the thing about the difference between 64 was last year that they did the small window, which means there's more material here from this crease line up this windows, and the windshield and everything is smaller than the sauerkraut is, which is a 65. And anyway, I just thought I'd make a video what I've been up to. We're going to try and get this thing off of here. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow or Sunday, get it over here where I can get the trailer free, because I got to load the Kraut to go race at Lions with the Southeast Gassers. And I don't know, maybe about a year, maybe this time next year, if I'm real lucky, might be getting it, maybe get it painted. We got some fenders and hood and deck lid and everything. We'll take it down to the guy and get the rest of it painted to match. And but I'm going to be taking this, this is something, all this here, the front axle, this is all want to get took off. And the frame head here, I'm going to try to insert some pictures. I've never done much video editing, so these are not going to be great videos or nothing, but you know, hopefully maybe some people will be inspired a little bit, or maybe there'll be some information. So the old way that they started doing these to save a bunch of weight, which is not really necessary today, but around 66, 67, sometime in that area, they started cutting the frame head here. This is, you might be able to see a weld. They cut that off, take all this stuff, all this braces, everything off, all that axle. And I'll try to post a picture of one, of a Survivor car that's got one. And they put a dragster torsion bar in here with a straight tube axle across, just wheel to wheel. And they would set up, the steering box is way down here, but they would set this up in such a way they would use the stock steering box and get everything set up, you know. I mean, you can't see anything back in there, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a guy to. I got me some. I found an old bug sitting in a field. The guy let me have the spindles and steering knuckles and such off of it that I can adapt and modify. And I'm gonna have to send it to some guy. I don't trust my welding to put those on, but hopefully maybe I can talk somebody into making me a tube axle for this. And that's a lot of depending right there, but they still sell, of course, the torsion tube, a dragster torsion tube, with the arms on it, and it's not, I don't know, it's about $300 or something. And we'll try to get all these parts together and get this thing built little by little. Kraut doesn't need a lot, so I'm not abandoning the Kraut, but it's going to probably get just turned, this will be the new Kraut maybe, or the original, maybe this is the sequel to Kraut. I don't know, but it's, anyway, that's it. I'm just rambling now, and stay tuned. They'll be far and few between, but I'll try to get this as I go. See y'all later.